Hello, welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. I'm a little late with this session, and apparently I'm also hungry. But I lost some time thanks to some local storms that are a little bit more frisky than the one in this game at the moment. So I want to keep this session a little bit shorter so I can get caught up and back on schedule. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. And apparently I'm hungry, so let's take care of that. And I also had a couple of ideas. Let's see what's in the fridge. That'll work. I have more food waiting. Okay, good. Something else I wanted to check. Gonna need well, that'll be enough to do a test, I think. Anyhow. So, we're making this what is supposed to be a super tank. And what I was afraid of, I was so focused on being somewhat practical in the game with making sure I had sloped armor and so forth. I kind of lost track of some basic requirements according to the lore. So we have a hover tank that uses actual fans instead of these engines that are we using in the game as a substitute. But in order to replicate the lore, might help if this was a little bit more correct visually, which means somehow or other there needs to be intakes for those engines, or for those fans. Essentially, we have fan nacelles that are somewhat protected. But as best as I understand, since the lore doesn't cough up an actual blueprint, and it's basically small little comments and details that are given out over the course of many different stories. What I picture in my mind is something similar to the hover characters in the Marvel movies. And that means you gotta have at least in the spot where the fan is, kind of have to have a flattened out area. You got to have a wide open intake for the sheer amount of air that's being moved. And at best, probably maybe a heavy grating over the top to keep out large objects. I did consider decorative blocks. All right, let's try to remember what I'm doing here. Well, I'm gonna have to have a decorative block. There are intake decorations, and matter of fact, I have one right here. I can stay on top. Really? Alright, so this is an in-game intake block, which really, I mean, it does and doesn't work. It'd be incorrect, I think, visually. So we have that problem. It means kicking out at least at around the lower, what I'm going to call the lower section, basically throughout here, farther to provide either flat or almost flat surface, and then having an opening above the hover engines. Or, let's see, we could paint the blocks look like rating. Let's try that again. Here we go. It'd be like a heavy grading, so this may be like the closest approximation. Let's see what else is. Check the other page. Maybe that instead. Don't really care for that either. That wouldn't be far off, I don't think. That, maybe. So that's an option, I think. Anyway, also, we have a problem up here. We have a turret. I have to say it's not really all that tanky looking. And while I was focused on making sure that the weapons were properly protected as much as possible underneath armor, it just doesn't look very tanky. You don't have a tank barrel, and you need a tank barrel. This is okay. You can have a recessed crew-served weapon, not entirely as a general rule, but to some extent. These are fixed barrels. They can't be moved around. So you can kind of get away with this, and you can still see it visually. To be a little more correct, actually, the barrel would be sticking out a lot farther, at least one block farther out. These kind of need a barrel. And I'm not sure how we can replicate that. We obviously have. That's not going to work. It's too small as a block. Now, according to lore, the main gun, was a 20 centimeter bore. That is huge. If I have my math correct, that equates That's a 10-inch gun, I think. Almost a 12-inch gun. Well, 7-inch. I'm way off. 7 3/4. Call it 8-inch gun. So, well, but either way, well, now we can do this two ways. We can either leave that alone and just I think that looks stupid myself. It wasn't a long bore, I recall. So probably definitely not past the front. How would that work? Maybe? May not be all that bad. Just leave those in there. That may work better than I thought. Paint it up correctly. Now the other option I was wanting to consider was to actually build a larger diameter cylinder, have these mounted on the end, so, or on the face of it, like right here, so that the in-game weapons are actually out at the end of the barrel, which would look a little odd visually. I don't know. But I don't know that we have the parts that can actually do that correctly. Let's see, we would need, you look at these, we either have the cylinder or you'd have to try to pad it out with blocks similar to this to get a larger radius, but even that, it's not even radius, it's a varying radius, I think. Well, that still wouldn't quite work, I don't think. And even going that route, still stuck within the same dimensional confines. So I'm thinking we don't really have a choice. But let's see if we can do a quick test. And I didn't want to do that so much as grab these. And we'll just tack on like that as a base. And now let's play these a little bit. That maybe I was wrong. Maybe this will work better than I think. I don't see, I mean, that's okay, but that's going to be where the problem comes in visually right there. Because we need an unbroken circle all the way around. I'm thinking we're going to stick with that goofy little barrel. May not be all that far off anyway when you think about it, so. Alright. May have solved a problem already. Another concept is this is clearly part of the hull, and in reality it isn't. It's a different part that rotates, so this visually is incapable of rotating. It's nifty for in-game mechanics, since we don't have rotating weapons except for these autonomous or automatic turrets. But I'm wondering if we can't deliberately have a little fun with this and make it look like it's an actual turret. It needs bringing the armor around, all the way around. I end up getting rid of this back deck and that particular rocket turret visually. Might keep it. Maybe, maybe not. But I think first priority is to get this corner finished. And since it's been a day or two, how the heck did I manage to do it? So we were doing reveals that ended up being reasonably acceptable, considering the lower hulls are cast. You can cast whatever shape you want. So let's get started with that. Gonna be fun just remembering which parts I was using where. Alright, so there was it you? Nope. It was you, wasn't it? Nope. Not yet. I'll bet. Yeah, I think it was you. And then yep. Then you, which means then you. There we go. Now, let's see. You were what? I think so. Standard wedge. A ramp C. There. And there. Therefore, one underneath here. There. We still got work inside here to do two. You know, I'm doing all this, and that's... Oh boy. If we kick this out, I'm tempted to maintain this slope, and then if we redo the lower, what I'll call the lower section, or layer, to account for intake openings for the fan nacelles, or simulated in-game. That means these are going to get kicked out probably all the way out to here. Then we're going to end up with a flat ring in a manner of speaking. All the way around, maybe? Or do we do a bump out? Not sure about that. I think that would be a little odd to do bump outs. And in the meantime, right now, I don't see any reason not to finish this, so back to work. Back to work. Alright, who was next here? That.
I think we did. Let's see. Yeah.
You again, then you again, then we have this in the back behind, I believe. Whoops. Yeah, there. Which means again. Nope. Uh-oh. What did I do? Did maintain that almost all the way up to the front.
Somehow. Oh boy. Was... here we go. You wasn't... Oh. Nope. Oh no! You're the wrong block. That's the problem. And you can't get things to fix. See if you have the right block. Is this the right block? Surely it is. No. No, that can't be right. Can it? Don't see how. I think I'm too high up. I am too high up. That's part of my problem. Well, I was right the first time by continuing this slope down with you and you. There we go. Now we're talking. In. That right? Let's see, had to come out. Alright, we had to do that corner block thing. Why? Probably because wasn't a better transition. Anyway, so you, yeah, there we go. That gets me set up for you. Doing it wrong already. Here we go. So that means I believe so. And there we go. There we go. Nice mouse work. There we go. That would be my other corner, wouldn't it? You. Nope. Buddy, you. No, that's not right. Oh, let's see. With that. You. I think it was. Kinda like that. There.
Yes, sir. How to adjust your block as many times as possible. Get it where you want it. Okay, so we are maintaining that slope. Oh no! I knew I needed to get some more blocks. Yep, forgetting to actually do it. And do I even have any? No, I need to queue them up. I don't need that many more, right? I'm almost done. Sure, right? While those are being constructed, let's see if we can't get a little painting done. What's... Seemed a little odd. Alrighty. No, I think... I don't know if that'll... Okay. Think. I think I was getting confused. I was hoping to do the whole vehicle as one shot, but it's not really what I need. Come on. Here we go. What? Why did that change to that? Very interesting. Really? Really have no idea what pattern I was using there. But it sure isn't matching up to anything now. I've already been through those. There, finally. Nothing more exciting than watching a guy paint. If I was doing or trying to replicate camo colors, might be vaguely interesting. But according to lore, these were not camouflaged except by hiding under local cover buildings flora and fauna digging in, but they weren't painted. I believe it was the holes and the weapons were described as being made from iridium, and I don't know if iridium was considered to be not paint friendly, but they were clearly called out as moving through various environments with their gleaming iridium hulls. So no camo paint. There I go. Messing with the concrete again. Overspray is such a pain to deal with, which is why they have paint booths. Contain it all in. Didn't I say my parts should be ready? Gotta finish this. Wasn't sure if that would work or not. Anyway, parts. Need parts. Where's our parts? Hey, what do you know? I missed those parts before, didn't I? I don't think I actually made 300 on this round. Hey, believe.
Uh-oh. That's not quite correct, I don't think. Let's see. Nope, not you. You. There we go. Not you or you, it was you. Was it? I think that's right. Well, was that then you?
I got the wrong parts again, don't I? Let's see, that came out all the way out to there. That's correct. So,
How about? How about? Yep. It means you were wrong. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I think. Then. That's better. Is it? No. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope. Another one? No. How about... Okay, what are we dealing with here? That looks more like it. Then you... There. And... Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. That's better. So, that was fun. Now we should be ready here. How did we transition there? I think that was another corner block. But did it... Nothing started there, so... Need you. Oh, I see. Here we go. There we go. Something like so. Then did we do you? I think it was. I think that was the way to go. Oops. Well, that was right, wasn't it? Yeah. Is that right? Did I have, yeah, okay. That's... Alright. Let's see. That mean you? No. Think. Okay, so that is wrong. There we go. Was it? And then we kick in at a different angle here. And... So not you. And that would mean... Was it you? Yes, for one block, okay. And then... Okay, so definitely not you. Was that a filler back there? That. It was. Not you. There we go. Nope. No. There, I think. That, maybe. Which means... maybe this? No. I'm thinking definitely not. Nopers. Okay, so that's correct. And then we need to... I don't think that was you. Maybe it is. No. That doesn't look right at all. How about that? No. I think I've really lost track of what I'm doing here. Feels almost like that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and I think it is. Still not right. Nope.
Starting to wonder if I have this wrong. That doesn't look wrong, though. How about that? Nope, that is not what I did. Looks like this is what I did. And then, turn the corner. Like so.
Not quite right. Oh, I see what I'm doing. There we go.
Okay. That pretty much finishes the hole, except for the changes discussed earlier. Right now, I'm in the mood to get this painted.
And I think that we will call it good for this session then. So this is painted up, and then experience with setting up simulated intakes for the fans. Whether it be bumping out and then painting to simulate grading, or there's all kinds of ways to do it, I think, and have an actual opening. Oh shoot, we gotta do the turret. I don't want to get too carried away on the turret without fixing that up. Alright, so let's... I think we'll concentrate on painting the majority of the hull. And then next session is probably going to be something.
Next session we'll be working on the turret and the nacelles, I think. If we can get the visuals a little bit closer, to get focused on trying to be practical with the in-game mechanics and forget what it's really supposed to look like.
Everything's iridium, all iridium. All iridium all the time. Not quite as smooth that time. Let's try. Arg. There.
I'd say we are getting a little bit closer. I just can't stand it. Probably gonna reconfigure all that anyway, but visuals are bugging me. Much better. Boring, but still. Still a whole lot better. Still not certain that's all that tanky looking, but it's looking like a hovercraft with a big gun on it. Which I suppose is the point. Ah, I missed a spot. That is getting there. I think do some work on that turret. Get it a little bit more turrety looking. That'll help considerably. Might actually end up lifting the barrel up another block to allow for under the curvature underneath it. Visual curvature anyway. Still getting there. We at least have got all the corners finished up. Whether they're actually properly cornered or not is another story, but reasonably clean looking. That front looks kind of busy, doesn't it? That may, yeah. I think it is what it is with the game. There's probably other ways, especially on the back end, to do those corners, but I'm going to leave them alone for now. Alrighty. I think this is a good place to stop for this session. And we should be back on track for next week's video schedule. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.